That we didn't make shots in the way that we normally do, but the one thing I'll keep praising our guys for is they just find ways to win basketball games.
The reason we're playing such friendlies is to prepare us for those games in the future. We are not yet there, but it's a work in progress, and we'll continue to work each and every day.
Basketball, Twende is just about building the basketball ecosystem in Kenya, okay? We're a bunch of guys that love playing basketball, and we play together and everything. The founder, one of my good friends, I've known him for over 10 years. He's American. His name is Colin. He's the head of Twende, and I am with him on this thing, right behind him. So we are tired of seeing other countries around Kenya doing so well in basketball, and Kenya, we're just standing still. We're not moving. We're not going ahead. We're just standing still. That's the reason that we started this club, so we can compete with those teams. And by the way, they're a good team. I used to play for KPA. Olinzi is I know the coach, and I'm sorry about the late coach that passed away for Olinzi. My regards to his family. They're a really good club. KPA, Olinzi, Equity as well. They're really good clubs. And all of these other clubs don't get anything, So that's why we want to compete with those clubs, and also not just those clubs. We don't want just KBF. We want to be outside. We want to be more than just, we want to show what Kenya basketball can do for Kenya as well. So we're just exploring everything all around.
Going into the off-season, the future for the Nairobi City Thunder was just up in the air as they fell short year after year. And big moves needed to be made for contention, especially in the off-season. And they did have a blockbuster off-season. They were acquired by Twende under new management, and the blockbuster moves were made. I mean, Twende, when they acquired the Nairobi City Thunder, when I saw that, it was like, was it Twende City Thunder? Twende Nairobi City Thunder, let's go Thunder. So, man, just a side note. So, looking at the big moves that they made, they went ahead and signed the top players across all the teams in the league. So, they signed the top quality players alongside retaining the services of some players from the previous season. So, the team will still be captained by Griffin. He was in assignment with the Red Bull 3x3 in Serbia, Belgrade, last week. As per recording this video, they didn't make it to the quarterfinals as expected, but the results and the way they're gearing up towards building this new found core of the Nairobi City Thunder with the veteran Griffin Ligar at the helm, of course, you're just going to expect a lot of fireworks there. So, Colin Ramusen, Twende Sports CEO and founder, had this to say: "We are a group of basketball fanatics who believe in the power of the game to transform lives and create opportunities for young people on and off the court. We are excited to take the team to the next level." So you could see there's a lot of forward thinking there. Also, Griffin Ligari had this to say, the team captain: "We are trying to change basketball from amateur to professional, create a new team that can compete not just in local basketball, but also in the continental basketball scene." And this has held true because majority of the time you've seen Griffin Ligari play for the Kenya Morans. His game in local ball in Kenya does not translate to continental. And looking at the way the roster was constructed for the Nairobi City Thunder, didn't seem like he had a lot of help, but the Thunder team right now has serious help. And Coach Guy also chimed in and had this to say: "Obviously, it'll take more time for the squad to gel, but a good start is paramount. We can't judge ourselves with the opening matches, but we will chase consistency from the get-go, and we'll look to be the only team standing at the conclusion of the season." So you could see, even the sample size of the 3 games that they played, you could see what they were trying to build, that winning culture. They're trying to set the tone for the whole season and also make a statement for the other teams, especially Equity, who have just been in a downward spiral, KPA, They've won back-to-back titles, but they're not looking as threatening as they were the previous season. So Griffin, he has fell short in the playoffs for years, but this time, with new management, they got him serious help.
To also win the league this year, and what we're doing different is we've recruited some new players. As part of it, we've recruited new management, a new head coach, and also we are putting a lot into our practice. We're practicing a lot more than they used to practice. We're putting a lot more resources behind the team.
We need to be consistent with high-level basketball, like what Twende Sports decided to do with our team, coming in, bringing in sponsorship and trying to make, this the best, a competitive team. Transition means we get reinforcement that we didn't have before. Our goal is to actually not just take part in the league, but we're planning to dominate the league.
The club has also beefed up its playing unit, which is now a blend of young and experienced players.
We have a mix, some older veteran players, guys that have been in the league a long time, but also some very young, exciting players that we would like to really, invest heavily in, and from a player development perspective, and see where we can help to take them.
The style of play we want to play, we have to get young in terms of we want to run, we want to space the floor, we want to play entertaining basketball. With that kind of game, you need some young guys. And we have some veteran guys who have won the championship, and we have I think 6 or 7 national team players.
With these new additions, we'll be able to do much, much better this season. And everybody's feeling great, playing with each other, and to me, that gives me a lot of confidence.
But despite the positive changes in the team, they have been grumbles for some quarters, especially the players who failed to make the cut.
We invited all the Thunder players for tryouts. Like I said, there's some players who felt it was they had a different reaction in terms of moving forward. Some of them wished us luck because the amount of commitment, to get to the next level, the amount of commitment that it required, some of them they could not sustain. That's why some of them wished us the best. Some of them felt bad because they would like to be the part of the team, but they couldn't.
But all said and done, when the dust settles, the lenses will be focusing on the Thunder to see just how loud they can roar this term.
I will say it's encouraging that the age of participation keeps getting younger and younger, right? I think part of that, it seems like there's a lot more basketball courts that are being built throughout the city in different places. I think there's a lot of energy around the game. You see a lot of coaches, even self-taught coaches, just with groups of kids, and investing in them. And I think we're headed in the right direction in terms of better and better youth engagement, and even the quality of coaching for sure just keeps getting better. People are accessing great online resources. There's good mentor coaches within the country, and so I think the future is bright in terms of youth basketball, which will only help to create the highest levels of basketball.
22-0. That's the Thunder's record after the regular season, as they finished it off unbeaten. So earlier on, before the season started, I made a video talking about the Nairobi City Thunder and what changes they made to their roster. And they made one of the biggest power grabs in KBF history, as the Twende organization acquired the Nairobi City Thunder, and they just put a breath of new life into that team. And since then, they have just been sensational. They have been the best team in Kenyan basketball as we speak. And right now they are on pace to win it all and make the finals and win it all and head to Road to Bal based on what they did. So a couple of things happened during the regular season that I was keeping tabs on, especially how the Nairobi City Thunder looked against the top 4 teams. That's the KPA Dockers, the Kutidumas, and the Ulinzi Warriors. And also, just to throw in there, the USIU Tigers. So earlier on, I made a video talking about how the Twende organization just revamped the Nairobi City Thunder. I'll leave the link to it in the description box, especially with the new acquisition of players and also acquisition of players down through the regular season. And also they dropped a couple of players, but still, their roster is still 100% intact. And with that in mind, they looked very good to start off the regular season as they were blowing out teams and the games were just one-sided. But a lot of people were very skeptical of the Nairobi City Thunder's performance when they matched up against, the bottom tier teams, because they looked so good to the point where people just got numb to those performances. But when the Nairobi City Thunder matched up against the Ulinzi Warriors, they matched up against the Equity Dumas. And the first domino to fall was the Equity Dumas, where they were able to pull up one of the most greatest performances of all time at the time last year. And with that performance, they're able to even go ahead and beat the KPA Dockers in their home floor in the Makande Gymnasium in Mombasa. Then 2 days later, they beat the Ulinzi Warriors in one-sided fashion. And that's the same thing. They blew out the KPA Dockers in one-sided fashion just to close out the year on a high. Then this year rolled around and they had to meet those teams again. And the only team that was able to push the Nairobi City Thunder to the edge was the Equity Dumas, as both KPA and Ulinzi just showed that they don't have what it takes to be able to take apart a Nairobi City Thunder team. And the Equity Dumas, their first go-around last year was a bit close, but this year's matchup, especially in the regular season, that game was decided by 3 points. That game ended 73-70. And at the time, you could see the calls that were made were a bit controversial, but the end result went to the Thunder's favor. And the only team that challenged the Thunder's unbeaten record as we speak is the Equity Dumas. And they also tried that again in the Elidowalo tournament that happened about 2 weeks ago, where the first time the Thunder and the Equity Dumas met in the Elidowalo tournament. You could see that game was decided by 1 point. And the game in the finals, the Nairobi City Thunder forced an OT where they went ahead and won the game by 9 points. So you could see the Nairobi City Thunder have proven to Kenyan basketball that they have the ability to go ahead and contend. Not only contend, but also be one of the teams to beat. And what they did was just sensational, to just phenomenal throughout the season. They promised us exhilarating basketball. And you can even see the marketing campaign that they've done. They also, through the year, they played against the Phenomenal Phenoms team that was assembled. I must say, that team was just assembled very fast. And it took players from outside and also from the top teams. But still, the Nairobi City Thunder did not waver and they still beat them. Then, in preparation to just prepare and just finish off the regular season on a high, they had an exhibition match against the Cobra Sport team, which I covered extensively in this video. I will also leave the link to it in the description box, just to show you that the Nairobi City Thunder are not a team to joke around. And right now, as we speak, all roads show that they are not going to be a team that are going to give anyone a shot in the playoffs. They are going to go ahead and steamroll everyone. And I've been following this team closely because I've made a couple of videos talking about the Nairobi City Thunder and how they're able to revamp their roster, how their roster construction is a model that some teams in the KBF can be able to look at and try to model after. And I must say, they've really outdone themselves. This Anu beatdown was eventually going to happen, especially when they beat down the UN terrorists about 3 weekends ago. I saw that game live and it was so one-sided, and also this one was still one-sided as well. And the pressure to finish off the season unbeaten wasn't that great because the Anu team, the Anu side, are not as dominant and strong as people would have thought they would be. But you could see the effort that the Nairobi City Thunder have done, especially when it comes to marketing, printing T-shirts. And I must say they're the team that is the biggest draw in Kenyan basketball. If the Thunder are playing any other team, they're able to draw a lot of people because of how they play basketball. But if you look at the other teams, they only cling on the Thunder's fame so that they can be able to do something with themselves. They try to gauge themselves with the Thunder. While the Thunder set the bar and they are the bar, the other teams try to measure up to that, but not many have been able to fill those shoes and try to rise up to the occasion. The only team that has been very close to beating the Nairobi City Thunder are the Equity Dumas as currently constructed. The roster that they had last year was different, and the addition of Eugene Adera in that squad, in that Equity Dumas squad, has really, really tipped the scales and has enabled the Equity Dumas to be much more of a challenger to the Nairobi City Thunder. And the Nairobi City Thunder right now, they're just on a tier, on an island of their own. I don't think there's a team right now in Kenya that can be able to beat them. I know saying that they're going to go unbeaten in the playoffs is a bit of a stretch because they're going to play back to back. And in the playoffs, you have to beat a team in the first round twice, in the second round 3 times, in the third round 3 times, in a best of 5 series. So teams can be able to find a way to adjust back to back. But as you have seen from the snippet of the Eliud Owalo Foundation tournament, we have seen the adjustments that the Thunder made, even game on a weekend basis, because we saw the game against they played against the Equity Dumas on Friday, and we saw that game on Sunday, and there are 2 different games. Based on the game that we saw, you can see the Thunder are quick to adjust. And given the way they have a very good and deep roster, a playoff run and a finals push is something that is out of the question. And that's the thing that makes this team great. And I don't think there's a team that can be able to stop the Nairobi City Thunder right now. I must say I'm very excited that some of the things that I made and some of the predictions I made came to pass. And the Nairobi City Thunder keep and giving entertaining basketball. And I've just been following this team through and through. And how they've been playing and how they've looked is something that a lot of teams should try to model so that they can be able to get there. I know financials, not every team has a huge bank account like the Nairobi City Thunder. I know the Equity Dumas, KPA, and Ulinzi have a bank account like that, but I don't think that they spend money like that. But anyway, it is what it is. So the Nairobi City Thunder right now, they are the best team in Kenyan basketball. They have made history, gone 22-0. And right now, the road to BAL starts now for the Nairobi City Thunder. And I also made a video and a post talking about how the Thunder season will look like if they don't make the BAL. I know they're going to win the championship, the KBF championship. That's something that's going to happen eventually, because when they win the championship, that's when the road to BAL, the dream to play in the BAL and the road to BAL is kept alive. But I even said that if the Nairobi City Thunder don't go ahead and win it and win either the first, second, or third spot, it will be a failed season, because the huge financial commitment that the Thunder have put in their roster does not allow them to fail, because the shot that they have right now, they cannot afford to waste it, and they can't afford to play poorly when it matters, because you have seen multiple times the KPA Dockers do that. They fumbled it in 2019 when the KPA organization did not fund the team. Although the team was performing very well in the Road to BAL tournament, they didn't get any support from the organization. Then we saw what the KPA Dockers did in 2022. But prior in 2021, we saw the Ulinzi Warriors wet the bed in the Road to BAL. We saw what the KPA Dockers did, winning their first game, but losing 4 straight. Then in 2023, we didn't even make it past to the Elite 16. The other times we made it to the Elite 16, but it got knocked off. But this time, last year, they didn't make it. So the biggest challenge that the Thunder need to understand and face head on is having the ability to finish either 1, 2, or 3 and grab the 3 slots up for grabs. I know it's an overkill, it's a stretch, but given like how the Thunder are looking like and given how their roster looks like, they have the ability to pull it off, and hopefully they don't bring in somebody who's going to alter their team chemistry, because the way they have been playing and the way they have played together, they should just maintain the same roster. If they go ahead and bring in like 2-3 Americans like the same way the KPA Dockers did it, or even do it in past years, they're going just to shoot themselves in the foot, and just going to be a lost year. So hopefully they don't do that, and they're just able to maintain that roster and don't fall prey to the mistakes that the other teams commit. So I'm so excited for the Nairobi City Thunder. Those are just my thoughts, but I will give an in-depth analysis on what the playoff of this year holds, and also just how the teams stack against other matchups that you're going to see. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, man, I'm out. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a ton. If you want to support the channel, make sure to check out the MPESA link. The link is in the description, in the bio, and that's for Kenyans. You can send me an MPESA. And if you're outside the country, within the continent or outside the continent, wherever you're listening to, and you want to support the channel, click the PayPal link. It's a donations link. Send through PayPal and I will receive it. So if you guys like the video, like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Now, the other thing is for you to, as you select the talent, what do you look for in players? Because there's a lot that goes in. You can look for a good center, you can look for a good forward, you can get your good guards, but what character do you look for?
We look for, it doesn't matter how good you are if you're not disciplined. Most important thing is discipline. If the player is disciplined, that's what we want, and his character and everything. Basketball is just another step. Life doesn't just begin and end with basketball. We want them to get them ready for the world as well. That's why discipline comes in. It's very important. You have to be disciplined. You have to be very disciplined. No matter how good you are, if you don't have a good discipline, we're not going to take anybody like that, because it's bad for the brand and it's bad for the community and everything. We want guys, when we hire them, when they play for us, we don't just play basketball. We go out there to the schools and help the kids, teach them, do some other stuff other than, we don't want to just keep it to ourselves. We want to take it out there with the community, with the kids, with everything else. Well, we don't want players just to come and play basketball and just get something and just go home. We want them to be very disciplined. We want them to come and work out and do their job. We don't just do basketball. We also give them gym membership so they can work out and keep fit and everything. We want them to be one of the top players in Kenya, so when we go out there, we can compete with those other countries. Like you can see what South Sudan did in a short period of time. Very well organized, very well done and everything. We want to be consider something like that. So we want everybody from outside, starting with African countries, to come to Kenya and play basketball in Kenya. Why not Kenya? Kenya is a big country. Kenya is a very wealthy country, Why not Kenya? They have to come here, they have to play, they have to want to come to Kenya, It can't be just football and other stuff like that, rugby and volleyball, even though they're doing well. We want basketball to be up there as well. And it starts with the youth as well.
Well,
don't forget all of these other university teams that are very tough and ready to play and all of that. So we have to be focused. That's where the professional comes in with my boys, They have to be focused, they have to be working out, they have to be keeping in shape. Sometimes we practice twice a day, and we also got an American coach from the US, from the G League, to come and give our boys training sessions, you know, which is really good. He's training them, he's preparing them for these kind of things. So we'll be ready. We'll be more than ready for anybody.
Wow.
The difference is, system basketball is where you come and you run plays, where somebody gets screened for you and you can get the ball easier and you can move around. Where the running basketball is, somebody just gets the ball and just runs and just makes one pass and he shoots or takes a layup, and then now the other guy gets the rebound and then runs the other way. So that's the difference. System is you run your system that the coach has teaching you, you know, and that's what we want these guys to do, and that's what most of these coaches in Kenya, they're good coaches, don't get me wrong, you know. They're really doing a good job, you know, like KPA coach, I don't want to say names, then everybody's going to say, what about our names? So they're doing really well, you know, Equity, Ulinzi, all of those guys, they're doing really well. But I want a day where we can have an international coach from North America come and coach all the other coaches as well, you know, so everybody can be on the same mindset. So now when the Morans or these other teams, they go outside, they'll be ready to play the system basketball, which they're already doing, so they can do it even better. Yeah, I'm a founder, yes, co-founder and everything, but now I might be also a recruiter for all of these players as well.
Talent manager.
Yes, which is it's not going to be difficult because I just need, you know, like the right, for example, again, courts, basketball courts, indoor courts. You know, we need to have more of those things. When you have more of those things, somebody will pop up. All of these NBA players right now, look at it. Most guys that are winning MVPs are African players.
Yes.
You know, like just look at it, NBA. The last couple of years, no American has won the MVP. It's all Africans or Europeans, you know, that's what we want to do. That's why.
Home of the NBA world champions are not world champions.
No.
It's Europe.
Exactly. Yes, that's what everybody, you saw that. That's what everybody said. It's not world champion, it's Europe. Because NBA sees now what's out there. That's why they're spending over $1 billion in basketball infrastructure. You know what I mean? In Africa. That's why we have to take some of that money and put it here in Kenya, so we can have Kenya benefit, you know, and the youth benefit and everything, and everybody benefits. This can be a work for everybody. Like, for example, the kids that we have, they benefit because now they give stuff to their parents or things like that. Like, it just trickles down. Everything trickles down. You know, it has to be making these players better so they can benefit and their families can benefit as well.
Overall, just taking a look at it from this little spark that you've put in, what kind of fire eventually can we see in the local sport? Can we see a move to more pro clubs? Thunder already stands by itself. Can we see others coming in?
You know, that's the idea. We don't want to be the only one that's trying to hug the whole system. No. We want other teams to come in and invest in Kenya's system, you know? It's unfortunate that it has to take a North American people to come and do that. But I also want Kenyans to come and buy a team, you know, and say that, okay, let's just do what these guys are doing and benefit. They will benefit, trust me, you know? But the problem is everybody is afraid. Nobody wants to put anything in, you know, like everybody's just standing by.
Risk averse, 100%.
Yes. You know, like there's no risk. You know, if you love the game, this won't be a risk for you. It's something that you love. We stop doing, like I said, what we're doing so we can do this thing full time and then benefit later on. You know, you cannot just have something now, build something and then you get money right away. No. If you think money and things like that, this is not a thing for you right now. You have to see everybody develop, you know? So that's why we want to help these young kids play basketball, make money, do something, go out there, you know, like get them into that system basketball so they can go out there and perform, you know. Like I said, South Sudan, they made it to the World Cup. or was it?
Yeah, they were the World Cup, and now they're going to the Olympics.
Olympics, you know.
Nigeria are not going to the Olympics.
Yeah, exactly. So, but Kenya, why not Kenya? Why not? They can do it. We have the players, and they're outside, even in the States. Why not just bring them here, and they play here, and they play proudly, you know, for their country and everything. You know, I love Kenya. My mom has a business here. Like, it's really good here, you know. That's why I want to give back to the Kenyan people as well. You know, not just me and my founder, Colin. You know, this was his idea that we sat down, and it actually worked. You know, if it wasn't him pushing us, this will never...
The reason why the BAL is happening in Rwanda is because Nairobi didn't have a court.
Exactly. That's
Otherwise,
exactly.
it was going to be Nairobi.
It was going to be in Nairobi, and if they Rwanda built it, it could have been Nairobi and Rwanda. No problem. We could share. You know what I mean? The finals could have been happening here. But we don't have an indoor court. We don't have the stadium that Rwanda has. You know, the population of Rwanda is probably what, 3-4 million or something like that, and Kenya is 54+ million, right? So even the NBA and all of those guys, they want to be here, but they can't because there's no arena. There's nowhere to go and play.
Wow. Looks like there's everything. The talent, the coaches can come.
Yes.
That's not a problem.
Yeah.
The talent is there.
Yes.
It may go out there. It's not a problem. But eventually, it looks like there's one thing missing. That arena. I'm sure that message is going to be passed.
Yes.
I think a week from now, we know we'll be hosting a person who's around this. So we'll pose it to him and we'll tell him there was this huge concern.
Please.